We'll figure it out. What's up, fellas? Sorry, we're running a little late trying to get the group together. I was late, so I'll take ownership and responsibility for that. But yeah, this is gonna be. Why am I hearing myself? All right, just hear myself. But yeah, so we have some stuff to talk about, man. Again, you guys know Google Stadia held the little dev summit thing, so we'll kind of give our impressions on that. I do want to talk about the state of cloud gaming. It's going to be cool. We're going to do kind of what we did last time, to where we'll just give an hour to some discussion pieces. Again, there, you guys who are watching can come in and give your input and your take on the discussion piece, and we'll try to include you guys. But GFN, I would say, had a very weak week, but we'll talk more about that. Amazon Luna as well. So this has been kind of a slow week overall with cloud gaming, and we're sensing that that's a theme. So again, that's going to be important to kind of discuss too, with the state of cloud discussion piece that we're going to have at the end of this podcast. So make sure you stick around to that. That should be really, really fun. But to get started, we'll take some time to say what's up to members of the panel. How you doing, Dr. Space?
I'm doing really good. Been keeping busy, lots of gaming here and there, but I also started work again. Done with the parental leave, so been keeping me pretty busy.
Okay. Good to see you, Doc. Good to see you. Monkey, how are you doing, sir? What have you been doing? What have you been playing, actually? We'll get to what you've been playing, Space. Forgot to ask you that. But what have you
No
been
problem.
playing, Monkey?
Yeah, no, thanks. Good to be back this week. I've been enjoying Tomb Raider this past week
Oh,
on GFN between
okay.
PC and the Shield.
Mm-hmm.
Just finally decided I was going to start playing the Tomb Raider games there. And yeah, the Game of the Year edition, it's really good. I find myself, I can only play for a couple of hours before it becomes quite repetitive. A lot of games I had this discussion with you guys in our Discord. Just finding a lot of games very boring, repetitive.
Yeah.
There's nothing new really
Yeah.
happening. I don't want a game to be a full-time job, you know.
There we go. Nicely said. Yeah.
But that's just my age, I think now. 10 years ago, I would have quite happily played a game for 8 hours a day,
Yeah.
7 days a week, but
Yeah.
that's not the case anymore.
Yeah,
So
dude.
I need something quick and easy to jump in and out of. And Scarlet Nexus, completely forgot about that game.
Oh.
Jumped back in yesterday, and
Okay.
I'm putting some time in, and I'm enjoying it. It's got a good story. It's got good combat mechanics. I really like the visual style of the game.
Right.
It's directed and written very well, so I'm enjoying that. Finally, an RPG that's good. And the less that we discuss about Babylon's Fall and Strangers of Paradise would be the best thing tonight, because they thoroughly underwhelm me, much like a lot of new games are these days, which is disappointing. So, yeah, that's my week.
Okay. Scarlet Nexus, I'm glad you said something about that, because that's a game that, like, oh, I want to play, but haven't really got to it. But yeah, you like JRPGs, right? Like, Tales
I
of
like them.
Horizon.
Yeah, as long as I've got real-time combat. I'm not a big fan of turn-based.
Oh, right.
They have to have real-time combat and nice smooth gameplay for me. But who knows? The older I get, maybe I'll go to the turn-based ones, because it's less to do. As the bones and I get old and frail. I don't know. We'll wait and see.
Is Scarlet Nexus turn-based? I can't remember.
No, it's real time. It's real time. The good thing about Tales, you guys know I absolutely love this game.
Yeah.
You can switch between.
You have options, yeah.
Yeah. And I always thought I will one day go back and play that as a turn-based, because I really like the story, and I will go back to it, and I'll try it again as a turn-based style, because I just loved everything about that game.
Yeah.
So I did.
Yeah.
Awesome.
It's a great game for sure. But yeah, I'm glad you said something about Scarlet, because it's gonna I'm gonna definitely go back and give it a look. That's a game that got, I don't know why, but it's easy to forget. I
So
know a lot of people who just say they want
yeah,
to play it, but just don't touch it. What are you
so
gonna say?
that's what happened to me.
Yeah,
Picked it up. Well, started it on Xbox Cloud Gaming in the browser, but you guys know what my experience is like. And then games come thick and fast, so
yeah, yeah,
it just went completely over my head. And then I was talking to you guys about the types of games I like, Tales of Arise, Nier, etc., and how I was really disappointed with Strangers of Paradise, and I needed a game to main that's very rich and story driven and has nice fluid combat that's got a nice sort of level to it. And it was Ben. Ben was talking about a GRPG sale, and I thought, oh, hey, I'll tweet that out because there's a few good games in there. And then I seen Scarlet Nexus, and I said, oh, I'm gonna play this. I'm gonna go back into this, and I'm gonna
That's
play it.
awesome.
And
That's
I'm
awesome.
thoroughly enjoying it.
Good, good. Do you like action RPG games like Devil May Cry and
Yeah,
God of
yeah.
War-ish?
We had a wee discussion about whether these games are Souls.
Yeah.
Some people call them Souls light, etc.
Not Devil May Cry though.
Not Devil May
Yeah,
Cry. Devil May Cry,
no, I
yeah.
do. That's my perfect game. As long as I've got a nice story, and if you don't have a nice story, give me over the top Japanese cutscenes with
Yeah.
cries, screams, blood, guts, gore, monsters. It just perfect. Just suits me perfectly.
Yeah. Cool. Well, Monkey, it's good talking to you. Good to see
Thank you.
you gaming again. It's awesome. Yeah, so I've been playing a lot of. I'll be 100% honest with you guys. I haven't really been playing too much cloud gaming and stuff as of late. So you guys know me, right? I go to where the games are, and I feel like lately the games just in the cloud has not. And we'll again talk more about this state of play, 2022. But lately, cloud just has they have not been getting good games same day release. But as you guys know, I have the Steam Deck and I've been playing that a lot. And it's pretty cool to have a device again that you can play some local games when they're not available in cloud. But yeah, we'll talk more about the Steam Deck as well. But yeah, so again, we have some discussion piece. Stay tuned to that end of this podcast. But we also are gonna briefly go through the news, and Duncan, another member, should be joining us here soon for that too. But there's some sales going on. No, not sales, some giveaways going on right now, right? Monkey, I don't know too much about that. Do you want to plug that real quick here?
Yeah, I'm just going to drop a few game codes in throughout the evening in the chat. I have loads here to give away, and if you want to see more, make sure you're following on our Twitter and up in our Discord. They're going to be going all over the place. Some of them may not be playable in the cloud. I have so many because I purchased a huge deal on Humble Bundle, and so that we could do these giveaways. A lot of them are on GFM, Boosteroid, etc. They're all Steam codes, but that will be made. That will be told to you when they drop in. All right.
Yeah, so stick around, guys. Codes are gonna be flying your way. Make sure you're on to claim them. But good stuff. All right, so let's kick this off. I'm actually trying to get my show notes, but we'll start off with Google Stadia. I want actually. Let's go with GFN because I want Duncan here for Stadia. I am curious as to what he has to say for that. But GFN, as you guys know, every Thursday they give us like news about what's happening for GFN. And I'll just be 100% honest with you guys. I wasn't too impressed this week, but just want to hear what you members have to say about this week, but also for the viewers, what are your thoughts about GFN this week with the releases? But to get right in, the games that was released this week was Monster Energy Supercross, official video game 5. 5 of them, right? We have Tunic. This was a new release game on Steam. We had Siberia, The World Before. This also was a new release game on Steam and Epic. We had Blood West and Steam, Dread Hunger and Steam, Hero Hours on Steam, and 100 Days Wine Making Simulator on Steam and Epic. So those were the GFN releases for this week. So let's start with you, Space. What was you taking these games coming to the platform?
It's not the big flashy titles. I think probably the biggest title in that bunch, to my opinion, that's making the most noise right now is Tunic, which is available on Game Pass right now.
Yep.
Apparently, it's a great game. It's a great experience. It's reminiscent of the classic Legend of Zelda games. So action adventure. You control a little fox, I believe. Tried it very quickly earlier. And yeah, I heard some very good stuff about that game. The rest, it's some pretty standard good games. Monster Energy Supercross, of course, for anyone who likes the sport, is the go-to game for the Supercross franchise. So it's good that they got that. Plenty of sales on this, and of course, 100 Days of Winemaking Simulator. It's been making a lot of noise in the Stadia community. It's the kind of simulator that's pretty popular. It's easy get for GFN as they get a lot of simulators. But I haven't tried the game myself, but I've been hearing some good stuff about it. So it's not a strong week for GFN. It's more like business as usual. Oh, and there's one Dread Hunger. Seems to be more like a game like the Werewolf games or Witch of Salem or Among Us, so that you're pirates stranded at sea, and one of the crew is eating the other crewmates, and you have to find out who it is if it's not you. Or so it's pretty interesting. It's standard week, nothing too flashy, nothing too horrible. So yeah,
Okay.
it's business as usual in my opinion for GFN.
Okay. Thanks for that, Space. How about you, Monkey? What was your take on the GFN news for this week?
Yeah, it is a week in the sense that there's nothing outstanding there. Spaceman, you covered that very well there. I tried Tunic myself. I popped it up on my phone on xCloud, because why buy it when I already have it, just to try it out. And
exactly what I did.
I have to agree with Marchief. He described it as a cartoon Elden Ring, and that's pretty spot on. But they've built a fantastic world in that game, and if you don't want to purchase Game Pass, you're not a subscription, I don't think you're going to lose much in the £25 that it's going to cost you, which will be about $30. I think there's a lot of playtime, there's a lot of enjoyment in that game for the money. Siberia is a game that, if you've played the previous installments, you know what it's all about. Really nice visuals, puzzle game. It's not like an action game. It's very relaxed. It's very story rich, and that's getting good reviews for the type of game that it is. Much like we've seen Elden Ring getting 9s and 10s because Souls players reviewed them. The people that are reviewing this game are ones that have played the previous franchise and enjoy that sort of thing. So that's getting really good reviews. So if you don't like a puzzle, story rich game, don't go for it. Just leave the reviews out of it. That's not your game. You've never played them before. So it's good. It's good that there's new releases there. But like you said, and we're going to discuss later, there's big bangers there that can draw a lot of attention that's not coming to cloud services. And it's disappointing. Although I don't like Strangers of Paradise, bloody pre-ordered that and everything. Was so excited to play it early, and absolutely just bombed on me. I just didn't like it.
Yeah.
A lot of people do like it.
What didn't you like about it though?
God, the characters are so lame. All your character says is, "I want to kill chaos," and the memes or the memes or whatever, how you want to say it, they're funny, but that is literally the extent of it. I feel I need more, and I didn't like the combat. I was there for like 3 hours at it. trying to enjoy it, trying to find a rhythm and trying to find some sort of fluidity that you get in games like Nier and Scarlet Nexus and Devil May Cry, Code Vein.
Yeah.
It just wasn't for me, unfortunately. I'd rather go and die in Elden Ring over and over. I think I died more in this game than I did in Elden Ring. But it's a big game. It's got a big draw
Yeah.
because of the Final Fantasy, and it's it's not here,
Yeah.
which is disappointing. And that's been a theme throughout. As for the rest of the games, if you like a old school sort of pixel shooter, sort of hack and slash, Blood West is fantastic. I've been waiting that coming to GeForce Now as well. So I'll be trying that out on a personal level. So I will.
Yeah. All right. Thanks for that, Monkey. Thanks for that. So I got this news and I was like, oh, skip this week for GFN. Like nothing on this list catches my attention. And I think someone here said it best, man. Zero, I couldn't agree more. This was absolutely a week for this platform. It's just, it starts becoming an issue when I start seeing like Google Stadia have better game release news week than GFN, man. You know, I think. Well, they had the Dev Summit, not the greatest, but at least we heard some stuff about the platform there.
Yeah.
Right? And then last week, I would say last week, Stadia had a better showcase. And I mean, they give us three news of wave of games coming to the platform last week. And GFN, last week was week 2. Right? So I'm just saying this starts becoming concerning to me when Stadia is having better game releases on a weekly basis than GFN.
Let's come back to you and see how many of those games you play on Stadia.
But the thing is, like, I'm not playing any of these games here. That's what I said earlier. Like, I'll be 100% real with you guys. I'm hardly gaming the cloud. If I'm gaming the cloud, I'm using Shadow PC because honestly, none of these platforms are giving me games I want to play. I'm just gonna be 100% real with you guys.
There's been a lot of games lately locked away from cloud for some reason. Other than if you're using Shadow.
Yeah.
It is curious. Like even I've been looking at Boosteroid that apparently there is a way with Boosteroid to play Elden Ring, but if you look into it, it's actually if you have a PC that can run Elden Ring, you install Elden Ring on your PC and through the app you can play on a remote device, but it's still playing on your PC and not through Boosteroid. So it's kind of weird.
No, it's there to play. Like
Boosteroid is the remote desktop. So when you connect to Boosteroid and you hit install on Elden Ring, it installs it onto a rig on their server.
Yeah.
Okay, it's still their rigs.
Yeah, it's still
their
rigs.
Weird.
Yeah.
I was just looking into it and it's worded very weirdly.
Yeah.
So
it's their way to get around.
Yeah.
We think it's them getting around.
So they're basically doing a Shadow PC, but for that game on Boosteroid.
So the game's already populated because the install takes seconds. Literally, the bar comes up, the game's installed. That's it, and then you log into Steam and away you go.
Yeah, but I'm just let's give Boosteroid some love, man. Like for real, we're sitting here talking about Cloud is not getting games. Boosteroid has been quite on fire lately, man. Where releases Elden Rings, Lost Arks. I mean, these games that won in GFN are actually in that platform. Maybe we should have a Boosteroid segment in this podcast,
One of the games I've been playing the most lately, I went back and started playing Star Wars The Old Republic, which I haven't played in a while. Yeah. It's one of my favorite MMO of all time. And I actually found out, I believe it's, yesterday or the day before, that it is on there. It's on Boosteroid, Star Wars The Old Republic, the MMORPG.
Yeah. Dude, they get games, man. They get games. But
there's a lot of titles on there that are very interesting. GTA 5's on there.
Yeah, Call of Duty, Warzone, Sunday. Yeah, all these games that people like come to the cloud on my preferred cloud platforms, probably on Boosteroid if you really go check. But I forgot to do something. Let me say what's up to you guys who are here. Zero Games for me is good to see you. 007, it's good to see you. Jay Smith, good to see you. Don't forget, guys, we're going to be throwing some giveaways in the chat, so make sure you stick around. Polaris, good to see you, and thank you for the I was gonna say stupid sticker, super sticker. Thank you so much for that. All the support again means a lot to us. So really appreciate space. I see you on here as well. Um, Zero Victor, what's up, Vic? Good to see you, my dude. Yanto, good to see you. Race, good to see you. Um, uh, Grim, what's up, Grim? Good to see you, Mr. Urban World. Good to see you, my dude. Uh, Isaiah, good to see you. Case Ball, good to see you. Cool. There goes the first code, man. Go claim, go claim, go claim. Geek the Sneak, good to see you. But yeah, just back to the discussion piece with GFN. Week, probably not gonna touch any of these games, just being real. And yeah, we'll again get to State of Cloud, but GFN is gonna hear from me when we get into that discussion piece. But let's move along. Let's talk about Amazon Luna. Right, this is gonna be quick, guys, so don't get too excited, right? So this one game that released for this platform, I'm trying to get the name of this game. I don't remember it. Give me a second while I pull this up. But just one game released for the platform, which I don't know if any of you guys haven't played, because guess what? Amazon Luna is not available for you guys. So let's start with that real quick. How does that make you feel? I'm like using my therapy spiel here.
I do
Go
have
ahead,
Luna
Space.
right now at the moment,
You
but I
do?
have to use a VPN to use
VPN?
it.
Yep.
And I might actually, because there were some features like the direct stream, I was able to get it to work well one time to stream to Twitch. But then when I tried it later, I kind of had some visual glitch happening all over the place, and some stuff wasn't working fine. I think it's because I had the VPN on and it was glitching some stuff in the system. So I might actually give Luna a rest until it's actually officially supported in Canada, because evidently with the VPN, it's gonna create some issue here and there. So and I don't like having to rely on this. But yeah, I gave it another try. Still a solid platform. Though in terms of game release, since it came out of beta, I was expecting to have more show up on there. They got some new channels, some interesting stuff. The retro games is a really great channel on there. They got some pretty good games, but something we were expecting is that on actual release there would be a store to buy new games and then a ton of new releases. That hasn't happened. They just took the beta tag off and still didn't expand the territory, and I don't know what's going on there.
You know what, Space? I'm glad you're here, because when people said I went too hard on this platform, I don't think you were one of the members. But just this being out, you mentioned something that I find it's out of beta, right? And this is what we get. What's your take on Luna getting out of beta? Because I don't think we've asked you that.
My take, it feels like they got a platform that's ready, but there's, like I was saying a moment ago, there's so much stuff we were expecting would happen once they removed the beta tag, and it's still not happening. So, and they don't seem to be making much communication since it happened. They do some advertising, but as for communicating like a roadmap for when there will be territory expansion, at least to match what some of the other platforms are doing out there in terms of territory, getting new studios on board, new publishers on board to get games rolling in. We're not hearing a lot. I feel like we should be having a lot more stuff happening now that's no longer in beta. And we lost Ace.
Yeah, no,
Just
you
the two
make.
of us, man.
Yeah. I'll just carry on for your conversation there. I think I was away that week as well. It is strange. Is it a good thing or a bad thing that we don't hear anything about publishers and the expansions? Because on one hand, you want to know everything that's going on, but like we've seen with Stadia, and this isn't a fault on Stadia, when they said we're going to do this, we're going to do that, and it didn't happen quick enough for people, they were ridiculed for it. So maybe, Amazon are going, let's just not say what we're going to do, and when it's ready, we'll do it. So when it's ready to come to the UK, it'll come. But I feel by that time I'll have lost interest unless they bring big channels like EA, Capcom, and things like that. And I just don't foresee that happening because the way gaming is going right now, and I'm going to use that word, metaverse, publishers and things and developers really want to build their own universe around their games.
Yeah, it's
For that
actually something I
reason,
wanted to
yeah,
go
yeah.
towards. I continue.
No, it's just for that reason. I don't see Luna bringing, your EAs or your Capcoms, your Activision channel. That's never going to happen now. It's an Xbox studio, basically. So I don't see it. I don't see what I do see the area of the market that they're in. They're just going to pile this out to their millions of Prime members, and so I hope it sticks. There's games there to draw people in that haven't gamed in a while, but if you're a consistent gamer like we are, and we keep up to date with all the new games, and we can't wait to play the next big thing, there's nothing really on Luna. The retro channel's nice, but Antstream Arcade was already there. I've been using Antstream Arcade for a couple of years now, and that has got a plethora of old school arcade games. There's no publishing rights. Not like, oh, this publisher doesn't support this platform, because these games are so old now that people are recreating them and put them on there. And there's Game Boy games on here now and everything. So Luna can't compete with that. They can't compete with big AAA games. And I'm not interested in it as it is just now, and I just don't see where they're going with it, how it fits
But
into.
one of the things you mentioned earlier, the metaverse, that every companies want to get their own branding on their platform out there,
Yeah.
is actually, I believe, the reason why they actually came out of beta. It's possible that, like Stadia, that Google is pretty much going with Google Stream as their headliner to try to get companies in to create apparently it's Bandai Namco. They're looking with a few companies. It might be collaborating with Google to launch their own metaverse. Companies want to have control of their intellectual property. They don't want to share with another company, with another platform. They want total ownership of their platform.
Yeah.
And to get people on board, which is an interesting opportunity when working with companies like Google and Amazon, which is why Amazon might have realized that while trying to pitch in Luna, that companies were more interested in going business to business, similar to what we're seeing with Google Stream. So they might have just pulled the beta tag off. It's like, okay, that's Luna. Anyone interested, go ahead and enjoy it. And they might be turning more toward the businesses and trying to sell off white label basically deals, and try to crib their way more into the metaverse and into the direct to consumer from the publishers kind of deals. So that might be what we will see in the future for the Luna division at Amazon. So that might be the reason why it's kind of going the way it is right now.
Yeah, no, that's a very good point. I never even thought about that. When you think about the size of AWS, his infrastructure, they have that there in abundance. So yeah, you're right. As Amazon Luna is just now, I don't see it.
It's kind of like we've been seeing for a while with Stadia, that they stopped receiving the big titles, the big AAAs, and it kind of slowed down over time. Luna seems to be heading in a similar direction, even though they were starting strong with a lot of advertising and everything.
So
kinda-
we'll get to all of that state of cloud. We
Yeah,
Okay.
we got some
We had to
stuff to
keep us
talk
going
about.
while you decided to take a tea break.
Yeah.
but I just wanted to basically
Dude,
tell
my Wi-Fi
that
just
away
shut off, man.
for the Ubisoft announcement that came out that I think might actually be related to all of this.
Let's talk
Yeah.
about that real quick, actually. Because I have no
Oh.
idea, honestly, what you're talking about. So break the news down.
Okay, well, Ubisoft just released was it yesterday or the day before? I think it's
Yesterday.
yesterday. They released a video along with an interview of basically a Q&A on what they're doing. It's one of their studios that they are working at making basically what Google announced at the beginning for Stadia with SGNE. So a cloud native app with built within the infrastructure of the hardware, so that it's no longer just remote gaming for convenience, but actual cloud gaming. So the announcement, yeah, Scalar, that's totally it.
See if I can pull up a video real quick. Apologize to
Yeah,
you
if you can pull the
viewers.
video,
Yeah.
it would be 100%.
Yeah.
I'll actually try to find.
I apologize for you viewers who are gonna have to sit through this StreamYard video playback. It's not the best, but
So
see
if
what
I
Is it
could,
still 720p for StreamYard?
it's 1080, but they just have a hard time with projecting video output, man. Like if you're trying to game or watch a video, it just looks like crap.
yeah, if I could just jump
But-
in quick and a quick explanation of what I've seen this as.
Sure. Go for it.
So this isn't cloud gaming. This isn't streaming a game to us. This is cloud computing and how Ubisoft are going to use the power of the cloud to expand their game universes, 1,000-fold. So where we sort of thought when Stadia was talking about cloud native games, 1,000, 10,000 player universes.
Players, yeah.
This is sort of what Ubisoft are talking about, and it's going to go such a grand scale. We could see there's a potential, not saying this is going to happen, but there's a potential where you could jump into Assassin's Creed 1 and take your character into the Assassin's Creed 2 world, and that's the potential that this cloud computing, this Ubisoft Scalar is given. They are using all the servers in the cloud to constantly update this game world, constantly evolve it, constantly expand it. There's no downtime.
Pretty much going to be a tough metaverse, and every game's going to get their own a lot of amount of power that's flexible in a way.
Yeah, and I mean the interesting thing for me here is this will be the first of its kind. No one else. Well, if it makes it first, unless someone else is working on this that we don't know about and is sort of ready. There's a game already in development upon this.
Yep.
I don't even want to call it an engine because it's not an engine. It's
a platform on its own.
Yeah,
it's really there's no other way of describing it.
It's a huge server in the cloud that will allow you to expand a universe 100 times the size of what we have experienced so far in games. So you talk about an open world game. Think about the Division 2, which is set in New York. It's going to be something like Division 2, but you can run around the full of America heading state to state. Sort of thing. That's that scale that we are talking here. And it's a game that you'll never finish. It's going to be a world of its own. And there's just going to be so much sort of potential to cross collaborate, like we see in Fortnite with them getting rights to characters like Doctor Strange, Spider-Man, etc. It's going to be something like that, and it's exciting, but at the same time, I don't like open world games as it is. So I don't know how it's going to go down.
So
the way they explain it, it's really because.
No, go ahead.
Okay, the way they explain it is because anytime a developer is working on a game on a certain platform, they receive basically a box like, okay, those are the parameters you're working on, and your game has to be within like those limits. You cannot go like if you need a bit extra resources on this, it's not available. Forget it. You have to fix things in your engine. Well, they kind of come to their teams like, okay, you're starting with this. That's what's available right now in our like our server blades for delivering the games to everyone. But let's say a studio is working on a game, it's like, you know what, we need extra RAM or we need like extra resources. Well, they can just call over their those that are handling that. Like for our game, we need those resources more and a bit of this, and they'll try to find a way to adjust the server blade so that the game is compatible with it and that it won't cripple the game down, which is very interesting for in the future. So you're adapting the platform to the game instead of adapting the game to the platform. So it opens some very interesting venues, and also it's the cloud native portion of it also brings the fact that you get better multiplayer connection. So it's no longer from your computer to the network to the other computer back to the network and back to your computer. It's all on the network. It's much smoother, and you don't have to load the whole world in your computer. It's just loaded in the data center, and you get your instance in that data center. It's pretty much, if you go back to before Stadia released, Jade Raymond did an interview. I'd have to dig that out. There's a lot of stuff in there that Jade Raymond teased that Stadia would become eventually, that they were working on, and that it just got all scrapped away and is probably being used right now at Haven. What's up?
Good evening.
Did your team win?
Good. No.
Yes.
Oh, they did.
Yes.
Good for you. How do you feel?
Awesome.
That's good. It's we won the cup on Wednesday as well, so it's all good. Just like the Mighty Rangers, it looks like we're going to win the league.
Okay,
6 points behind you, moron.
I was just trying to get a reaction.
Oh man. So real quick, what were you saying, Space? Like I'm at the place when these companies start making this type of announcements. I guess like I've been hurt and burnt in the past. That to me, right now I'm like, I'll believe it when I see it. Right, when it becomes like a full product in my face, in my hands, and I'm able to play it, then I'll be happy and celebrate. But Google overpromising, Amazon Luna, I know again didn't say anything, but we had we'll save this for that segment. But yeah, let's move on, man. Perfect timing. We specifically said we're gonna wait for Duncan to have the Google Stadia discussion, and he, you just popped in, man. Perfect. So let's talk about that. So Google Stadia, as you guys know, gave us a blog post today. It wasn't not today, this week. It wasn't 3 like last week, but we got 1, which I think was not good. Just gonna be honest with you guys. We got a game called Elemental War 2 announced for this platform, and then we had another game called Lumote. I'll just say that. The Mastermill Chronicles. 2 games announced for Stadia this week, right? And then we had the Google Games for Devs Summit, which is what I really want to focus on and talk about, right? So just let me know what your thoughts are on the Dev Summit and these 2 games coming to the platform here. So we'll get started with Hell Monkey here.
Yeah, I mean, I'd just like to reiterate that this Dev Summit wasn't for the general consumer. There's a big argument around that, I know. And the fact that they were pushing it. But that's because I feel like the Stadia team understands their immediate community. People that like Stadia are sort of Linux type people, Google people that own Google products that enjoy messing around in Linux. and they sort of follow the platform in, and that community enjoys a developer summit. They enjoy seeing which tools that they're working on to, make it easier to bring the games over. So going into that and expecting anything other than what we saw was just silly to begin with. But what we saw was,
What did we see, Monkey?
My key takeaway from the Stadia part of it was they're just trying to make it easier for developers to bring games and make it easier for people to find games on Stadia. Hence the reason why they've opened up the store now. So just like Steam, you don't need an account to go and see what's on Steam. And very soon that will be the same with Stadia. That's great. That's absolutely fantastic. Having to create an account before you even see what you can get is good. Secondly, giving the developers the opportunity to create game trials on their own and put them up is brilliant. That's, again, it's less friction, it's less time spent between the developers and Stadia to go over these things. That, as you can imagine, the amount of time that I would take, they can just go, here, you can play my game for 60 minutes, and if you like it after 60 minutes, create a Stadia account, and look, you can already see what else is on Stadia. So if you're happy with the way that game performs and your experience, you can go and purchase more games, or you can sign up for Pro. I don't see what's not to like about it. The only thing I will say is, and I made a joke about this on Twitter, and do you know what it's like when you joke on Twitter? It was the same last year. We're making it easier for developers to bring games. And I made a joke that the Developer Summit in 2052 would be the same. We're making it easier for developers to bring games. But it can't be a bad thing when they're trying to open up the platform to more eyes. It's not what we first envisioned. What first sold us on Stadia? Absolutely not. But I feel it's a step in the right direction rather than what we've seen this year with the Business Insider article and, Stadia's only getting 20% support, etc. Blah, blah, blah. This is good news. If you're interested in the developer side of things and this sort of thing. So as far as a developer summit goes, I was happy with what I saw compared to what I have seen this year.
Okay. Fair enough. Fair enough. So when we talk dev, right, do you see Google like creating all these tools and resources and kits for devs targeting businesses or devs targeting consumers?
Both. It's quite simple. It's both. So like we saw, we'll go back to our Business Insider article. Capcom was mentioned as potentially using Google Stream to host game demos for their upcoming games. I think it's shown already that games that offer developers that offer demos tend to do better, sort of sales wise. Obviously, if they're good games and people enjoy the demos, they'll pick them up on their preferred platform. So these tools will be made available to Capcom to make it easier to host the game through Google Stream, and the tools will also be made available to the likes of Wired Productions, etc., to bring their games over that are already running on Windows, on Steam and the like. So, yeah, it does both sides, the business and the consumer.
Okay, fair enough. How about you, Space? What's your take on this Google Dev Summit thing?
I feel like they are assessing a lot of problems that were brought up a lot of time. They're making it easier, like how Monkey was saying, like you don't need a Stadia account now to try a game. You can jump right in, and it's not even asking for your Gmail account. You just hit play, you're playing, and at the end, it offers you to create an account if you want to carry on. Or it's a good way to demo the games, which is awesome. Plus, there was some stuff mentioned about the link appearing directly, I think, in Google and in YouTube, and a bunch of stuff that's really needed. That's really going to help it. And it just feels that before today, they were trying to make things easier, but finding their own solution that they were coming up with, and now they finally decided to actually listen to the player base. Like there was the not too long ago, there was a survey asking like people who play on Stadia, what is your wish list? What are you asking for? What do you think would improve the platform? And for once, it actually looks like they took the time to look at what's on there and try to pick the best stuff that comes up, which up to now, I've never felt like Stadia listened to the community before. They were always flip-flopping on some stuff, but it's like it was always weird moves. And now we're seeing them actually listen to the player base, which is an excellent move in the right direction. It might be possible now, seeing this, that we might see some drastic improvement for Stadia as a platform for the next few years, but they still have ways to go to catch up to be able to do what they intended at the beginning to compete with the likes of PlayStation and Xbox, because that's the mandate Stadia was given in themselves at the beginning. But we're not there yet. There are still ways to go, but it's a step in the right direction.
Okay, fair enough. But you, Duncan, take.
Are we just going for the Stadia part here? We're not talking about the immersive stream. We're just talking Stadia.
The who stream?
The immersive stream part of the Google for Games conference, or we're just talking the Stadia section?
What do you mean immersive stream?
So
So
white
Google,
labeling.
yeah, Google. It's not Google Stream anymore. They've renamed it immersive.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, it's now renamed immersive. I missed that part.
I missed that too. Okay, go. You know what, Duncan? You
just want me to yap.
You can talk about
Google Cloud
whatever
Gaming.
you want to talk about, dude.
Google Cloud Gaming.
Okay.
These people have been waiting. Someone. So who said that here? Hail, King Duncan. You know.
Yeah.
These guys have been waiting for your presence, man. So bless them with your presence, Duncan.
I think we are going to get a ton of game. Yeah, Polaris is an absolute legend. Well, we are going to see a ton of games come to Stadia. Mm-hmm. We are going, when this new tech gets rolled out, to make the porting easier. The problem with that is, what level of games are we going to get? Are we going to see the AAA games and stuff like that? I was just reading the comments here, and who was it here? It was Zero Games for me. I think he's seen what I did a live reaction to this, and I think he knows my feelings are basically the same as
that one.
Yeah, fragmentation is on its way. It is on its way big style now with this. We're going to see the bigger devs drop their games on the Stadia for demos for free. That's whatever way they're going to do it, and then they're going to push it to their cloud solution for them to play there and take their money there. I think this conference, if we're just looking at from a developer standpoint, was pretty cool. The biggest issue they had this whole conference was pushing the consumers, the gamers, to list. They should have shut their mouths and not said anything until after it was done, and said, now we have got a Risk of Rain 2 demo on the store, go and play this. And we also announced X, Y, and Z to make games, porting games easier to Stadia. What they did was they put eyeballs onto this show to...
So sorry. Wait, Duncan, wait. They took it back, though, the last 2 days, right?
They sort of did.
Mm-hmm.
They did talk it back, but they still had that big tweet pinned there. Go watch this show, and just before the Stadia section of the show, they said, "Stadians, go watch this again."
Yeah.
And then you seen during this section of the show, they were advertising AT&T's cloud gaming service. Could you imagine Xbox saying, go watch our dev conference here, but look what we did for PlayStation, and look at these games you can play on PlayStation, but you can't play on Xbox. Do you think Xbox would do something like that? Or PlayStation? Or Nintendo? Honestly, now.
But AT&T is not like a Google Stadia competitor, though, are they?
Yeah, I was just going to say that. This isn't about competition.
I kind of get Duncan's point, though. It's Stadia is not getting, as of we know now, the Batman games are not headed to Stadia, while they are available on all the other platforms, PlayStation and Xbox. Now they're advertising one single entry of a game series that's available on the AT&T run by Stadia. But if you want to play the other games part of that series, then you have to go to Xbox or PlayStation or.
But that deal is making them money, though. You know, so it's like advertising. It's making
Google
Stadia is a part of Google, so it's making them money too. Like
just like PlayStation, just like PlayStation's making Xbox money with PlayStation Now, but you don't expect Xbox to tweet out to their fans, "Go watch this conference," and then watch their competitors stuff.
You know what I took from there. Sorry, Monkey. So white labeling, and I'll talk more about this, but I think the B2B side of business is where I think Google is trying to go with gaming and Stadia as a whole. And I feel like this is like free marketing saying, hey, this is the partner that we partnered up with. This is what they were able to do. If you guys were interested, check it out, right? And get familiar with that. Because if you do want to do that, we just want to show you guys they did it and it worked. So go take a look at that. So
I have zero issue with that.
That's not bad.
I have zero issue with them doing white labeling. The whole biggest, massive issue I have with this is Stadia is lumped in straight with this white labeling. Does Xbox talk about their white labeling when they're talking about Xbox? Does Amazon talk about their white labeling when they're talking about Luna?
It shouldn't have been advertised as a Stadia
event. You know the general point.
Gaming event.
But no, it's geared towards devs, though, and
it wasn't. As soon as they told gamers to watch that turned into a gaming.
No. I disagree with that.
Go ahead.
And like I said before, Stadia know their community. The core group of Stadians. I fucking hate using that word. Excuse the French. But the core group of diehard Stadia gamers are Linux guys and gals. They are Google product guys and gals that will follow whatever Google do. Come rain, hail, or shine, nothing bad will ever be said about it. That's what they're pushing that towards. And
I'll just counter that
at the same time, it's a developer summit. It's not, look at all the games we are bringing.
And they said that. They were like, guys, don't go the expected. But they said it. I know it's last minute, but they said it, though. Like, if they didn't say it, then we can roast it. But the fact they're like, all right, guys, we might have been hyping this up. But they still said it, though.
Because
here's the thing: everybody wants to give Stadia a buy ball because it's Google and it's Stadia. If Xbox did what they did, I would be hammering Xbox. If GFN do that next week for their conference, hands up, who knows there's a GFN conference next week?
Wait,
the GFN developers conference next week. Are they tweeting that out to their user base? No, they're not. Is Xbox tweeting their side? No. And the thing is, these big hardcore fans of Xbox, PlayStation, and GFN will be watching these conferences as well. It is just because there is just more focal of that on Stadia. And again, I have no problem with them talking about this conference. It is just that as soon as you point that, and your mama knows was expecting big things from this, even though that tweet came out.
Why bring him into it?
No,
because he is the biggest. Nonsense talk,
hey.
Because if you consider the
never
way it
take
was
that guy seriously.
advertised at the
Okay,
beginning,
dude, let's keep it PG, bros.
if you,
No,
if you
I
consider
think
the way it was advertised at the beginning when they
Uh,
announced it,
It got
and
stuck.
that you look at Stadia, Stadia cannot afford to be at E3. Stadia cannot afford to go at Games Convention. They cannot afford to be on the big shows. So if Google has an event going on that is already a platform that some people will actually look at, well, it's the perfect opportunity for Stadia to get a free pass and book an event in there and make it their own E3, at least to start to get things going again. So that's what they advertised at the beginning, that they would have a presence there, that they would have it, that they wouldn't put a roadmap there, that they would have announcement on there.
but
And they
you,
didn't say what type of
uh,
announcement they would do, but it seemed like the logical plan of, okay, Google cannot afford to put Stadia in the big eye of the public, but anyone who loves Stadia will want to watch that, and that's why they published it. They put an announcement on their Twitter account in a bunch of places. But then at the last minute, they saw that people were looking for an E3 type of show or a Gamescom kind of type of show from Stadia at that event.
and then they
Even though the whole event is
recalled
not
that.
that type of
Yeah,
event,
Stadia
was going
so
all
here's the
gangs
deal.
in for that.
Here's the deal. Shout outs to Google Stadia, and I'll say that because the old Google Stadia would have hyped things up and left it hyped up. They're like, oh shoot, our community are thinking that we're going to come here and show up. The fact that they put out that tweet like, yo, do not expect any AAA, that like they laid it out. I know again it happened right before the show, but the old Google Stadia wouldn't do that. And so the fact that they did that to temper expectations, you got to give them a round of applause, man.
Yeah,
They started listening to the fans.
I was giving them absolutely fair dues to that a couple of days before that when they came out and said that. But when they put that tweet out telling people to go watch it again, that was like, oh my God, just shut the flip up and stop pushing that.
Duncan, so if Sony's holding a dev conference or Microsoft, I would assume it's okay for them to tweet out to the followers,
No, it's not. As soon as a games company tells gamers to watch something, the expectations there are going to be games.
All right, I'm gonna search for that now. I'm gonna see if Sony ever tweeted out about like a game dev conference.
They tweet out about
Duncan. I'm just going to tell you right now, you're way off the mark with this because it says that it's a Google for Games Developer Summit. It didn't say this is our Stadia E3 Gamescom Future Game Show.
No,
but
Stadia all
Developer Summit.
I'm not saying I was expecting an E3 or anything like that, but as soon as you tell gamers to watch a game show, what do you think?
Is Twitter just full of gamers? Are there not young and up and coming developers on Twitter?
Like the blog post
space.
But that was their gamer.
Guys, I think we're getting too much into this, guys.
I think we're getting far too much into it.
Yeah, Duncan, untwist your panties.
I'm absolutely fine.
Oh man! All right, so
I'm with Duncan on this on the more moderate stance. But
no, okay.
It's good. You can even see in our chat here, people were going in there expecting things because they went out promoted.
I'll tell you what then, that's on them for expecting anything other than a developer summit because that's what it was and that's what it said it was.
And to be realistic, on this show, we said multiple times before that event, temper your expectations. All the big Stadia content creators, I've heard all of them say the same thing. So it's not like the what was that crazy show, the pink one that
good stuff.
It wasn't like that where they were like hyping that up and all the creators. Most people say temper your and even Google Stadia in the Twitter last minute. I know it's last minute, but they said temper. So if you went in there expecting bangers and you didn't get bangers, like that's on you in a way.
I was not expecting bangers. I just thought it was absolutely poorly communicated from Stadia from the top down.
Oh, man.
I was not.
I don't know about that, man.
you check out Reddit, check out Twitter.
If they didn't send out that tweet saying temper expectations, then I can side with you in that. But the fact though, like guys, don't
There
go
was
in here
more
expecting.
tweet to hype
There was
people
more
up than
tweets.
there was to calm people down.
There was more tweets
But-
after that tweet,
Okay.
and that's me. I if you go onto my Twitter, I actually said absolutely fair play to them for doing that tweet to calm everything down. But then they go and tweet everybody out to go and watch it.
Yeah, that's not bad though. The event is going on. They weren't saying like, yo, we're gonna release like Call of Duty, go watch. They were saying, hey, we have a dev conference going on, guys. If you're interested, go watch. That's okay, I would assume.
But the thing is, the people who are really into this would have known this anyway.
But you can't. Okay.
So
Let's move
what
on.
about just
I hear
here
you,
we
but,
go.
like,
Here we go.
go ahead,
Here's just a thought. Okay, so it's 10 minutes before the show, or it's a couple of minutes before the Stadia section starts. There's an indie developer out there. It's maybe a one-person team, two-person team.
Yep.
And they see that and they go, oh, so we've been
That's-
building our game on Windows and Stadia's making it easier to bring games. Let me go and check that out. Because
Exactly.
that's the way you see it.
I'll
I'll tell you something right now. If they hadn't mentioned anything about it, we'd be sitting here criticizing them for not mentioning it.
I said it last week. I said they should not have been talking about it, and I would stay with that. And I think
no, Duncan, I can totally see you coming here and saying Google, you should have marketed that. Oh my goodness.
Absolutely not. If we get back to the actual conference, my biggest problem with the whole conference was Stadia talking about the white label, and that should have been separated off into a different person. It should have been the Stadia person talking about Stadia, who they could have put an absolute randomer talk about Google Immersive Stream, and that would have been better than what they did, because they have absolutely confused the whole message. Is it Stadia? Is it project whatever it's called now, Immersive Stream during that?
It's not a problem that it was advertised, just the way it was advertised. They should have put more disclaimers.
I mean, if that's what we're kind of still picking Stadia on in 2022, I think we need to do some
we need to move on to another subject.
Anyway, I do want to give my piece. Something concerning for me with this event is, again, people want me and everyone else to kind of forget about the way Google Stadia was presented at the Game Developer Conference, right? So they had a goalpost, right? Again, bringing AAA games, want to, in a way, compete with the consoles. That hyped a lot of people, including myself, to get bought into this platform. It's like each dev summit, each Google announcement, they're like stepping so far away from that, right? And that is my big concern with this whole dev. So what this showed me is that their focus is more B2B, right? Hey, for Google, that's great. That's going to make you money. That's great. And, with that, if they are making money, Stadia might still exist because, if they lose money, Google might shut Stadia down. But if they go the B2B side, use Stadia as a marketing tool, Stadia might still stay around. So that's the way I view it. But as far as Stadia being what I invested into the platform for, a storefront to bring me same-day release games, a friends list where I can communicate with my friends, features that are only available in the cloud and utilizing that in games, I feel like that mark is no longer the mark for Google Stadia. And to me, that is what I have a problem with. So this dev conference just shows me that Google is continuing to step away from the original vision plan that they have for the platform. So if you're expecting AAA bangers same day release on a storefront in the cloud to play those games, Google Stadia might not be the platform for you. And to me, we're going to get into state of cloud, but that is like the biggest thing that I didn't like about this show. Anyway, so that's my take on it.
Yes,
But
I'm gonna. I have to 100% agree with you here. If I go through all the platforms here, every single one of them now has an identity of sorts.
yeah,
The only,
we can say that.
all bar Stadia, and I would even throw Luna is sort of in that as well. I think Luna. What's Luna's identity?
I'll tell you. Let's So we're gonna get into that State of Cloud 2022 right now. But just want to tell you guys, Xbox Cloud Gaming has made its way to the Steam Deck. If you guys were, they released some games which were good. Shredder, Jerry covered it. Check out that video if you're interested. And like 3 other games came out for the platform. But that is Xbox Cloud Gaming as a whole. I do want to spend some time here with 2022 predictions of cloud games as a whole. So as you guys know, it's 2022. Like when we all started the channel, when people started talking about cloud, this was supposed to be the year the cloud would take off, right? And we're in it. And I'm gonna say my piece, but I want to check in with the guys and just get like an overall take on where you feel cloud is right now and where you see cloud going in the future. 2022, March 2022, are you satisfied with where cloud gaming is? And what do you want to see out of cloud gaming this year and for the future? So we'll get started with Dr. Spaceman here.
It's no secret that I've got big expectation for this year out of PlayStation for the cloud gaming. Rumors are we're actually about within a few weeks, if not days, about to actually know what's going on with the Spartacus, the new platform or even platform that they're supposed to release. I know that using PlayStation Now on PC, it's absolutely great performance on it. It runs extremely well. They have a lot of title at a very good price point. So transitioning that into what they want to do with Spartacus, bringing more classic game and possibly more recent game, like we just got Shadow Warrior 3 day and date release on PlayStation Now, which is a first. Very interesting. So there might be some stuff right around the corner going for PlayStation, who have been remaining silent for a while now. So this might actually move a lot of stuff around. And also seen it's unconfirmed, but someone posted that they saw the server blades that PlayStation acquired to actually power their newer generation of PlayStation Now, so Spartacus, and would be the AMD Epic apparently. So haven't seen official confirmation, but it would be something on the scale to rival the GFN 3080s super pods. So rumors are abound. There is nothing confirmed. A lot of noise going around. So it will be interesting to see what will be announced on there. So that will be a big player to follow. Other than that, GFN, I think, will just keep on bringing some games. Great titles will be added there for sure. We'll have to keep an eye on that. So GFN is on a good track. PlayStation might be surprising us. Xbox needs to fix their cloud because for some people in some bubbles it works really well, but for way too much people there's issues with the platform, some pixelation, some frame drops. So Xbox really need to fix their cloud platform. I'm hoping it will happen this year and it'll start to pick up with more players, a bigger player base. And yeah, I think there will be a greater adoption this year for cloud gaming, but it's not as big as we were expecting. And Luna out of beta, we talked about that earlier. I personally was expecting to see more going on with Luna, but like we were talking about earlier, it's not impossible we might see Luna going the same direction as Stadia is going right now and prioritize business to business white labeling. So we know that the market is already pretty saturated in main gaming platform, and for others to join that market, it's really hard to turn public's opinion, even if they do have access to a lot of consumers, a player base. It's really hard to change an opinion of people really like PlayStation, really like Xbox or Nintendo, to turn them to a different platform, it's not easy. As if you want to bring them to games like Bandai Namco with the Soul series or Pac-Man or whatever, or you bring other publishers in there like Square Enix, for example, who could have their own metaverse. Like if you do business to business with companies like that, that alone might sway a lot of consumers, and it's sure profit. So we might see more business going to the business to business front. I just saw another company that was launching into that. I can't remember the name, but that might start to be getting more populated in the future, more so than in actual platform releasing. And Boostroid actually finally releasing very soon in North America will be interesting because they got a lot of great titles. It'll be interesting to see how it turns out.
Okay, thanks for that. So overall, would you say you're satisfied or dissatisfied with the progress that Cloud has been making, cloud gaming?
I feel like it's falling short,
Okay.
but it's still making its way. It's like out of 10, I would give it probably a 7 out of 10.
Oh, we're doing
Like
rating.
it's not
Duncan loves that. All right,
it's
so
it's not a
we
disaster, but there is some good work that's being done, and they need
Yeah.
to keep on building on that. There's been some failures, there's been some success.
So 7
Oh,
out
and
of 10. Okay.
one thing I wanted to bring in all as well that we mentioned earlier that Duncan I think wasn't there when we talked about is the Ubisoft announcement that happened, which will be very interesting to see progress. That in my opinion is the first real cloud platform or cloud environment that's being fully announced, that they announce in more details that we will see surface. So up to now it's been cloud convenience, remote platforms. Now it's going to be real cloud games that will be headed our way. So that will be very interesting to see.
Cool. Thanks for that, Space. How about you, Monkey? What's your take on cloud overall so far?
So, it's no my mind just went completely blank there. Basically, I've been saying for like the past few weeks that it's really slowed up this year. So for me, back in 2019, GeForce Now and Stadia sort of kicked things off for me. And you see this rise and more games become available, and then we're getting day-and-date releases on Stadia. GeForce Now is getting the big PC games. Xbox comes into the market, and then PlayStation Now has a streaming service that I knew nothing about, didn't even know it was on PC until I really took an interest in the cloud side of things. And this whole world opened up. But I see doors closing very soon. And the reason I see doors closing is because publishers or developers want they want to host their own games. So, GFN might right now be the side piece to local PC gaming, but I feel like Dr. Spaceman said, we don't see a lot of Square Enix games or Bandai Namco games, or at least the ones we want to see coming to GFN or coming to Stadia. And it's disappointing, and I don't see that changing. Duncan. I don't see that changing because these companies are going to use these business solutions that Google, for instance, and Amazon can provide, and they're going to host, their own platform of games. Yeah, they'll still be available on PC, Xbox, and PlayStation. I don't think that's ever going to change. This isn't the last generation of hardware either. So for that reason, I see doors closing. So I foresee, Stadia and GeForce Now and Amazon Luna as we see them just now. They won't be that in a few years' time. I don't believe. Whether you want this or not, that's just the way it's going to go. Companies are investing in infrastructure and the tools to host their own metaverses. I've gave up. It's going to be the thing. As much as I don't like
You
it,
accepting it. Good for
this
you,
this is the
Monkey.
way. It's the same. It's the same when you first come to cloud. You think,
Yeah.
do you want me to stream a game? Nah. And then you go for it. And you think, well, that's not too bad actually. Whether I'll say the same thing about the metaverses that are going to come through from platforms is a different story. So I don't really like what I'm seeing in that sort of sense. But I think going forward, Xbox and PlayStation are in really strong. Nintendo as well. I've not even mentioned Nintendo here too. They're in a strong position because they have acquired such a massive, IP and third-party support, and partnerships with various different publishers and developers that they will have enough content to have their own, just what we see it now, but there'll still be local hardware. They're just going to add on to that with their cloud experiences. But for the likes of Luna, GFN, Stadia, Boosteroid, the way I see it going, and remember, this is just my opinion. This isn't the gospel. I don't think they can compete. Because if Square Enix keeps their games, for instance, if Square Enix, Capcom, EA host their games on their own servers and make them available to you in their own metaverse through, it could be Google Stream, Google's business-to-business solution, they're not going to put them on Luna. You're not going to get an EA channel on Luna. You're not going to get other games on these services. We already don't get EA, Capcom, and Bandai Namco games on GFN, so there's absolutely zero chance that they're ever going to come now. And yeah, it's a shame. It's a shame, really, that's the way I see it. But that's just my feelings. That's just what I see happening.
Okay, fair enough. Thank you for that, Monkey. How about you, Duncan?
What was Monkey's rating out from 10? Since we're giving ratings.
Rate it.
Yeah, I'm putting you under the bus now.
Duncan loves this, man.
I don't really understand the rating. What am I rating?
Your overall impression of Cloud in 2022. How would you rate Cloud?
How it's going as to what you were expecting it would be at.
Just give Duncan a number.
A 10.
I get it. Stop this, man. I just need to wind him up.
E for effort. I love an E for effort because it's done nothing for me this year, unfortunately. There's not a game I went.
So I'll put it at a 3 for you.
Yeah. Because there's nothing there that's made me personally go, oh my god, I've got to go and play that game on Stadia. Or, oh my god, I have to go and play that game on GFN or Boosteroid or Amazon Luna's out of beta. Wow, I really need to try this because there's nothing there that the games this year that have came out that I am interested in, that I want to play,
concept
aren't on cloud.
They are. They're right here.
Boosteroid is the worst. Well, it's not the worst. xCloud's the worst for me. But Boosteroid's latency for me, even though I have the same round trip as I do to the GFN servers, I'm pretty sure they're hosted in the same building, is horrendous.
When's the last time you tried it?
When Elden Ring came out.
Not too long.
And it's still really poor. Yeah.
Okay.
How much longer is all them games going to be on Boosteroid? That's the question.
Very good
Hey,
question.
they've been keeping it here. They just gotta not make too much noise and they'll be all right. But
I'm going to try.
Not like they're going moving to America.
Look at this.
go ahead, Duncan. Let's hear from you, man. So we got a 3, we got a 7 from Space, we got 3 from Monkey. It's your turn.
Well, it's my turn. It's
your
my turn. Oh yes, you just like dig me on just for the banter. I think just to annoy people. That's basically it, isn't it? State of Cloud in 20. What year is it? 2022.
Oh my, 22.
Yeah, is. I think last year we thought it was in a state of flux. I think it's even in an even bigger state of flux. And I'm not as pessimistic. I help if I could speak, Ethan, as Hellmonkey, but I am along them sort of lines. I just feel that we're going to be heading into the fragmentation war, and everybody is going to be grabbing their own stuff and putting it on their own services. If you've been watching this podcast over the last number of years, you've heard myself, you've heard Jerry, you've heard Hellmonkey. I think you've heard everybody say content is king, or something words to that effect. And when all these big mergers and acquisitions were going on, this was the end game, is to build up their catalog so they will be able to offer the Netflix of games of a sort. Yes, you can clip that and make fun of me for all that, for saying that, but that is the ultimate end up in this game. Cloud gaming, again, too much games here and I can't get out from my head. And this is where it is going. They're just buying up as much of this content as possible, and it's going to be to stop it going on to different places. I have a sneaking suspicion that GFN is going to get a big publisher back on board with them this year. And I have said this before, and I'll say it again here. I think it's going to be Take-Two or 2K. I have a sneaking suspicion that they may go with GFN.
Can I just ask why you think that, Duncan? Because
it's nothing scientific. It's a gut feeling. It's just a gut feeling that I think
it's a gut feeling, Monkey.
I never disown a gut feeling.
There you go.
Doesn't matter if it ends up burning in flames. You followed your gut.
Oh, since we're getting made fun of that we're all PlayStation 1, there's my Xbox headset. So yes, I play on everything.
There you go.
We've got Xbox headsets here as
well.
Got
a green headset there for when I'm playing the green machine.
I got an Xbox controller somewhere here. I feel like we should be all yeah, there you go.
And there's my Stadia controller, since I'm a big Stadia hater as well. So yeah, where was I?
How about this, huh? How about this? It should go in the garbage, but how about that?
Oh.
I have words for Luna, man, but go ahead. Keep going.
Keep going. Basically, the state of cloud for me is Xbox know their role. Complementary to xCloud's complementary to Xbox. GFN is knowing their role. They're complementary to PC as much as they can. They're big into PC games. Stadia is becoming, in the cloud space as the weeks go on, more and more irrelevant to gamers. To gamers. And I'm just being a bit harsher what Ace has just said, because Ace has actually said that, but he put it a nice wee way. It is becoming focused more and more on the business. On business. That's what I'm saying to gamers as a whole, that it's going more into the business to business role. Luna, I think we just need to see what's up Luna's sleeves and Amazon's, because we do know that they are investing a ton of money into gaming, and according to the job listings from a couple of weeks ago, it looks like they may be getting some second party there. So overall, so far this year, I am disappointed as a whole.
Why? We've
said it, no matter what the platform is, gaming is about the games, and most of the big games so far this year have not came to cloud, and it's just real disappointing to see. We've got another couple of big games coming out in the next couple of weeks, and they don't look like they're coming to cloud as well. What I would sorry.
No, carry on, Duncan. Carry on.
What I was going to say is, if you can't get the big games, you need to bring as many games as you can, because it's just going to become into a numbers game. The more games you have, the more likely there's going to be games which people are going to play. And we've seen this this week with GFN, that dread hunger. They're out there. Oh, iPhone, Apple stuff, kiss the Apple stuff. No.
So Holtz wants you to kiss your Xbox headset, man.
No, that's not happening.
Holtz, what the heck is this, man?
Okay, I'll
Well,
get
go
this. I'll get this back on track. Just a wee thing Duncan said there just sort of reminded me. Gaming it's about the content first and foremost, i.e., the platform service you want to use has to have the games that you want to play, and then secondly, it's the experience that you can have in these games. And for me, just going off of the games that I like, Xbox and PlayStation has a lot of the games, but their cloud services are restrictive. If we could get the type of content that interests you and the convenience and, you know, ease of use that Stadia can bring you, but with the quality that GFN can give you, somebody's on to a winner. And the first service to do that, you know, I think is going to be in a very good position. But at this point in time, none of them are there, which is a shame.
Yeah, I agree.
So
we're doing something different real quick. For those of you guys watching, I actually would like to hear your take based on this discussion piece. Yes, sir. So I sent out a link. So hop on. Let's hear
I was
what
just
you guys
about to
have
ask if that was a mistake.
Yeah. So was that?
May very well be.
Go for it.
What I would say, what I would actually say here, I keep on hearing the Stadia is the easiest place to play on the cloud.
Yeah.
For me, it's not.
Damn, that was fast. All right, keep going.
For me, the easiest place to play on the cloud, and I'm putting the big quotes in here, if it works for you, especially you, Hellmonkey, is xCloud. Me and Kelly.
I'd say it's on the same level as Stadia. You open up the browser and you hit play, and away you go.
But I'm going to say, if you've got an Xbox, has anybody played xCloud on their Xbox?
Don't have an Xbox.
Just jump in. Me and Kelly were playing Gears of War last night. She wanted to play Gears with me. She went down, hit go, bang, on the Xbox, just like you would do as a normal on a console. For me, xCloud is ahead of Stadia in the usability space. I'm not saying...
For you. You've always had good Xbox experiences.
Yeah,
but you like... you and Gamer TV.
What I'm saying is the UI, getting on the games in xCloud. I'm not talking about the quality, just even going in and finding games on xCloud is on par. And if you've got the console, for me, it's actually a step beyond Stadia if you've got it on console. And I say 007.
But okay, I understand that, but at the same time, you don't need to buy a console with Stadia. You just buy a game and go. But they don't have Sea of Thieves, Gears. Obviously, they don't have Halo, but you know, games to that sort of caliber, unfortunately.
So, just gonna. Everyone have said their piece before we get people in. You haven't. Go ahead, Monkey. You have.
Oh no, yeah, I was saying let's go.
Okay. So just real quick for me, we're gonna get you in here, and again, Shad, come in. We'll definitely love to hear what you guys have to say about this discussion piece. But for me personally, cloud is going slow. Wait, we didn't get a grade for you, Duncan. Is there your favorite in the world, and you missed that?
You know, I used the full scale from 0 to 10.
Yes, sir.
I'm giving it a 5 because
that's reasonable higher than a 3.
Yeah, the reason being because GFN have raised the bar, and just with the 3080, if you were given the choice to play a game anywhere, wanting to max it out, for me, it's on GFN. If I could buy Elden Ring, or if I wanted to buy Elden Ring, I'm still debating it. I would want to play it on GFN over anything else. That's including my Series X and PlayStation 5 and all that sort of thing. I would want to get it on GFN.
Steam Deck.
But a big player to watch this year. I don't know if you wanted to go around with this, for this year, in my opinion, the big player to watch is PlayStation.
Okay, let me say something about PlayStation. All right, so I'm gonna give you guys my take. So we got a 537, right? So cloud to me this year has been a huge disappointment, and I think, I think Google Stadia came out hot, and I think the way Chief was here, he'll probably say it again too. The way other companies reacted was they saw a threat and they tried to compete with that threat. And I think because Stadia is not a threat anymore, or like they used to be, I think we're seeing a decline, a slowdown in the progress of cloud, which really sucks. But I think that's where we are. So imagine if like Google Stadia was still trying to get like AAA game advanced, like giving us Gen 2 right now, right? And just trying to work on the exclusive titles. I think we'll see cloud be further along than it is right now, but because of the scale back, I think that's why cloud is going this slow. You guys might say I'm crazy, but look at when Stadia was hot, when they were making an announcement. You see GFN or Xbox tried to make an announcement to one-up it. It was insane, right? You would just hear something 1 week and then the same week, just announcement after announcement. I love that. I love that competition because, again, it was beneficial for the consumers. Now, going forward, Google Stadia, guys, is just what Stadia is going to be. Is going to be around. It's not dead. It's going to be around. But based on watching that whole dev, I think Stadia is going to be like a good marketing tool for Google to push their B2B business. That's what I think. If they get great games on their AAA games, that's a plus. I would clap for them. But as far as like my expectations of expecting that same day release AAA, I'm not used to, but I'm not anymore. Amazon Luna, my goodness, I'm seriously like ready to throw my controller in the trash because I joke about this, but I'm serious. I don't see anyone using this service, man. Like my kids use it. Kudos to them. Maybe I'll just give the controller to them. But apart from my kids, like who's playing it? Like what games are you playing? GTP tried to lie to us last week saying he plays his Ubisoft title until I called him out about GFN. I know he plays his games in GFN. He's trying to say he plays it on Luna. Anyway, I don't see anyone playing Amazon Luna, just being real, unless they come out with channels that will interest people. And I'm not talking about Jackbox Party. I'm talking about like some bangers, some EA titles and stuff like that, Square Enix, Capcom. But we're not seeing that from them. So again, not too happy with that. GFN, they gotta get games, bro. Like they are PC focused. How in the world are they missing this big PC games? Lost Ark should be on here. Elden Ring should be on here. Like there's no excuse for them not to get these games, right? So they are also slow. Yes, we have a great 3080 rig, which is awesome, but they're missing some big games that I think should be, I don't want to say easy, but they should be getting these games. So going forward, it's going to be interesting to see if they can meet the same day release AAA games that PC games get. Now, PlayStation Now, I know Space is trying to say they might be. I am really concerned for this platform because based on the leaked rumors, PlayStation or Spartacus is going to be what PlayStation Now currently is. The only difference is that they are going to allow you to trial, demo AAA games. Like, who the hell wants that? Like, no, thank you.
There'll be more than that for sure.
Not based on those. If those rumors are true, which two people, this one specific rumor, and it's kind of been confirmed in a way that that's what the service is going to be. And we did a video on that. And if that rumor is true, then that's concerning to me because we're expecting an Xbox-like service from PlayStation or an xCloud or Xbox Cloud Gaming or Game Pass. That's not going to be the case with Spartacus from what these rumors are saying. So if that's true, that's going to be a huge disappointment too. Just being real. It's what PlayStation Now currently is, with the option of you just trialing games to see if you'll buy it on the PlayStation, service. So again, I don't know. I hope when it releases, it'll be different. But again, if leaked rumors are correct, then that's gonna be disappointing as well. Anywho, go ahead.
I was just
Okay.
going to jump in just on the PlayStation thing, although it's not, the whole thing doesn't really appeal to me. Duncan just popped in a wee tweet there, which reminded me it's a patent. PlayStation have filed multiple patents that's going to, basically it's, oh my God, my words are failing me. They filed multiple patents. So it looks like they're going to expand it out with PC. So there's tech there for streaming over mobile data, streaming over Wi-Fi. So we know at a point it's going to come to mobile devices. Otherwise, why have they filed those patents?
But this is
So
not the first time.
no, it's
No,
not.
right.
This
These
is not the
companies
first time
file
we've
these
seen
patents all
Sony
the
file for
time.
patents, man.
Yeah, no, I know.
For the last year, though, there's been so many patents related to cloud gaming for
Yeah,
PlayStation.
it's insane.
It's been crazy.
Yes,
Yeah.
can I say something?
Sure.
I want to hear what this person has got to say.
Yeah. Okay. So one more thing. I'm just gonna wrap up with this and give you my grades. So sorry. Xbox Cloud Gaming. They have a lot of work to do, but I think potentially they are going to be the de facto. So I think Microsoft, again, they've said it. They saw cloud gaming from Google and Amazon's a threat, and I think they step their game up to be in front of that. And the acquisitions they made, they work in the background. I feel like once all that's said and done, if they let you purchase games from Marketplace and give you the free to play, what Game Pass and xCloud currently is, and they up the performance and give us 4K in the stick or bring it to Android, I mean, dude, who the hell can compete with that? So I think they have the potential to take cloud to the next level. That's just my take, but that's what I'm gonna say. I'm gonna give it 6 for this year. I'm gonna shut up now because we got some people. So 007, how are you, sir? Can you hear us?
The mic is muted.
Hey guys, can you hear me?
Yeah. What's up, man?
Hey, it's an honor to be on your show. Long time follower since the early days. I watched when Mark Watts was on here. I'm a big used to be a big Shadow guy, and I sold my Shadow Ghost. I mean, I see Ace using Shadow a lot, but for the specs and the price you pay, Shadow I got rid of it. Price was too high, $35 US for the specs you get. GFNs, but back to what you're asking, cloud gaming still's got a long way to go. I think the Steam Deck that Valve put out is going to, kind of that little machine could be a great cloud gaming machine.
Yeah.
The Steam Deck's going to be cool. I'm a big Linux guy. Right now I'm using my Linux computer. I use Linux every day. It's my daily driver. But of course you got to have a window. You still got to have a Windows
Monkey
PC.
loves. Sorry, just if you didn't know, just want to introduce you to someone who really loves Linux.
I know.
Okay.
He's right there, Hell Monkey.
Yeah. Okay.
That's right.
Can I make a confession?
No, hold on. Let him keep going.
Okay. Go ahead, Duncan.
Go ahead, Duncan.
No, it's I've sort of partitioned my PC and I'm trying to get Linux on it.
Dual booting right there. There you go. Okay, but cloud gaming right now, I guess it's kind of in a stagnant stage. I mean, yeah. I'm all in on cloud. I mean, I was, like I said, loved Shadow when it first came out. Shadow during the time when the 3080s weren't out and the 3000 series weren't out, Shadow was the way to go. I mean, I was all in Shadow. Bought the Ghost, and those things were hard to come by. Sold it on eBay just to make a little money, because I didn't want a paperweight, because I got rid of the service because my son wanted a computer. He wanted to cloud game. I mean, he wanted to game, and the best option was to rent the Shadow. Pay the monthly subscription. GFN came out of beta. We talk about Luna getting out of beta, but you guys understand, and you guys know, and we're preaching to the choir here. GFN was in beta for years. GFN was in beta for a long time.
They were, yeah.
And now, of course, they're out of beta. I love GFN. I think it's kind of restrictive. I mean, it's not a cloud computer. You're not getting access to a full virtual machine. You're getting access to only the games that they support. I mean, because again, we all would cry that, hey, that game's not on GFN. That game's not on, you have to wait and it shows up a week later on GFN. GFN, awesome. I mean, for the price you get, if everyone here is a 3080 founder, because that's just what to do. Now, when they released a monthly 3080, I think that's going to open up the doors who don't want to pay the 6 months to pay that monthly. Great. I'm a big Luna guy. I don't use it as much, like you say, Ace. I don't use it every day. I was a big fan of Stadia. I thought Stadia was the next thing to slice bread. I thought Stadia was going to really, really turn the tables on this. But when they started closing their first-person studio, and you guys, the big event or whatever they call it, they had a couple of YouTubers try to stream this, or I forgot what it was called, and I watched it. Yeah, the good stuff. The good stuff. Mm-hmm. Dude, I was all in on that. I was doubling down, like, this is the way to go. But I also know that Google has a big graveyard of services. They just, they're ahead of the game, but then they just kind of stop. And I agree with Duncan, when they're inviting gamers, when they invite gamers to their events, you expect to see games. Yes, it's a developer conference, and yes, it's a developer thing. But when you say, hey, guys, gamers, come on over, what do gamers expect? Not the next CPU or, hey, we're running the back end of this. They expect games. So I've stopped my pro subscription a long time ago to Stadia. My main rigs are for cloud gaming, GFN, Luna. Oh, no, take that back. I play a lot of Xbox Game Pass. Xbox Game Pass, you got to give them the credit. Yeah, their rigs aren't great, but the content, and we've all said content is king. Microsoft's got the content. They bought every studio that you can come up with. Back in the old days, they bought Mojang. They got the biggest game in the world, the Minecraft. Now there's Minecraft for VR and the Oculus. I mean, once they tweak their Xbox servers, dude, that's a game changer. I mean, the content is there. I've tried the Sony, but again, it's a walled garden. They're kind of like an Apple. They don't play well with others. Sony keeps their things to themselves. My first console, my first next-gen console was the PlayStation 1, and I was a big PlayStation guy. Those PlayStation, I still play at night, my PSP, not the Vita, but the first PSP, the portable. That, I homebrewed it, again, being a Linux guy. I could download ISOs and play games on there, but Sony makes great hardware, and they tie in their software with it. But I don't think they're going to be a big cloud player. I think they're late to the game. Right now the groundwork's been laid with NVIDIA, with Shadow as a virtual PC. I think Google Stadia laid the groundwork, but they're not. Now they're trying to business, like a Amazon. What do you call that? Their the AWS. I think they're trying to. Hey guys, we have this great tech, and then they're trying to sell it off, do that white label. Hey guys, come use our tech. We'll release it to you guys, but nobody's picking up the game because it's going to be owned by the infrastructure is going to be owned by Google. Well, I don't know what that is. Apologize.
Sorry, that was me. Hold on. I think
that ain't me. Sorry, Ace. I guess Ace got to go somewhere. But again, I think Google's got the infrastructure, but they're trying to lease that equipment or lease that tech out, but nobody wants to pick it up. That's why they invited the developers. Hey guys, come check out our tech, and then we could lease it to you to develop these. That's why they're doing that white label. But when they closed their first-person studio, that told me a lot, that they didn't really have, they didn't have the fortitude or the intention of going forward. So if you create the platform, and if you created your first-person studio, I think that's the way to go. And that's my take. But I think cloud gaming it's an infancy, even though we've been playing with cloud gaming for about 2-3 years now. I mean, we've been playing with cloud games for a while. But again, just like the PC behind Spaceman, I mean, nothing's going to beat, like Jerry says, local hardware is here to stay. That's why that Valve created that Steam Deck. That Steam Deck is next gen hardware, but portable.
Yeah.
It's like I would call it the Nintendo Switch killer. That thing is, when you get it in the hands of some people, you're gonna, I saw a tweet that Ace got that Steam Deck. I know he's got one in his hands. And again, the OS right now is an Arch Linux. Arch Linux is the way to go. And that's going to be a game changer in Linux gaming. That's a game changer in portable gaming. And I think it's going to be a game changer in cloud gaming. Again, you can run emulations in there. You can run, a browser and play these games. Play your Luna on that device. Play your Xbox Game Pass on that device. So there's a lot thing with that. Valve has done is integrate hardware and the cloud services. And again, if you have a great Steam library, that device is going to play 90% of your games. The easy anti-cheats, the Fortnites, the guys that are competitive games, they may have a problem running on the Steam Deck, but the Steam Deck, I've already pre my order. I'm waiting for my queue to get my hands on one of those things. You're going to get 2 of them, Duncan? That's cool.
G2, so yeah. Mine hasn't moved.
Yeah, but I look forward. And again, thank you for having me. Like I said, I just clicked that link, and I know you invited me years ago. And again, I was, again, still a big Mark Watts fan. That guy was my go-to guy for Mark was a great guy to go to for Shadow. Shadow is cool. I still think it is cool, but I think the specs are a little underpowered. So that's why I've kind of gave it up.
Yeah, for the price.
Thank you, guys.
Yeah. Oh, Sevens, good to have you, man.
Oh, good to be on the show, guys. Yeah. I want to see Holtz here. I want to see Jerry here. Where's the rest of the? I guess everyone's got family duties or something.
Yeah. Hopefully we'll be back with everyone soon. But yeah, people got stuff to do. But man, good to hear your voice, man.
Good to hear, my crazy Texas voice. Yeah, thank you. I don't have one of these European accents like Hell Monkey or Duncan there.
Listen,
I wish there was captions under Hell Monkeys every now and then. Duncan, I probably get used to. No offense there, Hell Monkey. You know what I mean.
No, listen, hey, my boss over here in small Scotland is actually from Texas. So imagine your voice and my voice combined. It is something to behold. a Texan with a Scottish twang. I can imagine. Amazing.
That's awesome. Just need a cowboy hat now on Duncan, and there we go, Texas and Hell Monkey. There we go. Well, thanks, guys. I appreciate it. Like I said, I always try to catch the show. You know that, Ace. Yeah, man. I'm here. Sure. I miss Chief. He's a great guy. And hey, I also picked up a Twitter win this morning. I got a Twitter
nice
the events this morning. Just thank you guys.
For sure.
I'm glad. I said back to your thing. I think I'm going to be a cloud gamer for life. Cloud gaming. We guys are early in on the thing, or the ground floor of cloud gaming. Right. It's only going to get better. Yeah, I think we nag and pick on, but again, it's just the innovation. Innovation is going to happen. I think we're in the right place because again, I did not buy an next gen. I didn't buy the PS5. I didn't buy the Xbox. The new Xboxes. I could play all the Xbox games on my son's Windows PC. I could play 90% of them on my Linux box. So I skipped this last generation, just like Ace did. We didn't pick up the new, even though I envy looking at that PS5 and the graphics. I don't want one, but I rather spend my money on PC computer than a console that's going to last 2 or 3 years. And then, they grandfather it out. The PS4 is a great pickup. If you can pick up a PS4, I think that's a great machine, but cloud gaming, it's here to stay. And I think it's only going to grow bigger. Thanks,
awesome. Thank you, man. What are you saying, Duncan?
You absolutely brilliant having us out 007.
Yeah, dude.
Whoever gets that game, it's the best game ever. In the chat,
you will be bored to tears.
Is it a simulator?
No, it is Slay the Spire. And if you follow me on Twitter, it comes up every day when I've been playing that. You have to play that. Okay. And that's a game. That is the number 1 game I want to go to Stadia with state share. I've said it. I've said it. But I think it was brilliant being here.
Yeah, man.
I'm not 100% sure. I think it's on PlayStation Now.
There you go. 007, man. Good to have you on here, my dude. Thanks for your input. All right. So you guys heard it.
Thank you.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. So you guys heard it here. You guys have heard our grade. So let me ask, grade this since you're still on here. Where would you grade cloud gaming 2022 007?
I think it's a strong 6.5, almost 7. I mean, I think I'm with Duncan. Maybe it's at the 5, but I think it's a strong 6. It's only going to get stronger. You know, we're 2022. You know, I think, you know, a 10 is hard attainable, but I think it's a strong 6. It depends. I think GFN is at a 7. You know, GFN, you know, they got. I mean, they're the GPU people. So GFN by itself, I think, is a strong 7 or 8. But overall, the whole market, I think it's a strong 6.
Okay. Nice. Fair enough. Thank you for that. Thank you for that. Yeah, same. That's what I graded it. Cool, man. All right. So, fellas, you guys heard it here. And again, you know, we're trying stuff different, especially like when we have smaller panels. So it's definitely good to get you guys just come in, give us your take. And yeah, just get into more discussion pieces like these. But I'm just hoping cloud pick things up. I know again it's going to, but the pace this year has just been so slow. But yeah, it's the future. I still believe that, but it's just going too slow. But like OSM was saying, and some people might hate me saying this, but picking up a device like Steam Deck, or if Jared was here, he'll probably tell you that, but a console to kind of hold you over. Again, if you use someone who are like, you need to play the like greatest games as they release cloud right now, I would not recommend it unless you want to go with Shadow PC, but performance wise, it's not the greatest, and you'll be missing out on console exclusive, right? But I would say, guys, I know I was the guy who only who only gamed in cloud, but after having the Steam Deck, man, I'm just like, holy crap, you know, just another option there while I wait for cloud to get ish together. I can have some fun playing some decent games, you know. Anywho, anyone else have anything else to say about cloud in 2022?
I just want to talk about the Steam Deck for a bit. I think when this was announced, whatever, 6, 7, 8 months ago, I think a couple of us were saying this is going to be the absolute must-have device if you're a cloud gamer.
Yeah.
I think it is just going to be an absolute companion to it. For me, where I see the Steam Deck hopefully fitting in for me is I'm going to play that when I'm out and about. When I go out to the Giants and play that during the period break, where I have to go watch something stupid with Kelly and I have to pretend I just have to turn up and I just want to be playing in that. And when I come back playing it on the big TV, flying the shield, I just see that being the perfect harmony there for cloud gaming, and especially with the xCloud stuff coming. I'm hoping that GFN's browser starts to work in that soon. It was. Or is that working on it now?
No, it doesn't. And Luna does not work as well. So I just want to say shout outs to Microsoft. And here's where, I mentioned they're going to win in the future, because stuff like this, right? They see a new hot device. They're like, all right, how can we get xCloud? They literally created instructions to put xCloud on here. They worked with Valve to make this happen. It just shows the dedication to gamers and how serious they take gaming. And with stuff like this, that's why I'm like, they get it. They're the only company, cloud, so far that have went their way to get the service working in this. Again, just shout outs to Microsoft. But Sarah Duncan, keep going.
Yeah.
I was basically that. I was just like, that's me finished. Hell Monkey, you speak.
Yeah, no, I agree with Ace. Xbox are leading the way in terms of accessibility.
Yeah.
I.e. having Xbox Game Pass everywhere, other than sort of Android TVs and that, but we know that there's the hints of the streaming dongle, and I'm okay with that because it then means if you want to play it on your TV, okay, you need a dongle, okay, it's going to take up an HDMI, but you're going to get the best experience through their hardware, which can only be a good thing, because we see with GFN, for instance, on many devices, the performance differs so much from different mobiles to different Android TVs to different Android boxes. So I think that's a good move. We do like their accessibility. And if we're talking about a Steam Deck, I'll hold my hands up. I've seen these handheld PCs starting to come. None of them were doing it. The One X player, like you said, it's great. It's got that lovely 1440p screen, but it can't play a game in 1440p.
It
so
cannot.
it's
No.
so
Yeah.
it's sort of wasted. And then you
Yeah.
see that the Android handhelds, which are great for cloud gaming,
Mhm.
but I'm not going to spend 200, 300
Yeah.
pounds on a device just to cloud game,
Cloud
when
game.
if I really want to, I'll
You can
just
get
spend
your phone.
50 quid and do it on my
Yep.
phone.
Yep.
With the Steam Deck, though, I wasn't interested at all. I didn't see the fuss about it. But the more and more I read up about it, and now really seeing it come to the forefront, I went pre-ordered last year. Probably won't get it until the same time as I pre-ordered this year, but it's just such a great device. So in terms of accessibility, you can play your Steam games. There's more and more games becoming supported. You can cloud game on it. You can hook it up to the TV, etc. That I'm not too sure about, just in terms of its hardware. It's already struggling to do, a sort of nice 60 FPS on high demanding games. So God knows how that's going to cope on a 1440p monitor or even a 1080p monitor. I don't really see the need for that, but it's a nice addition. It's just a great device all round.
So
And
just
it's
when
only
this.
this is only the first iteration as well.
Yeah.
AMD's RDNA 2 APU
Right.
that's in there is one of the first of its kind. That's only going to get better, and other companies are going to come as well. You're going to see Intel coming.
Yep.
Nvidia were trying to buy ARM to get into this sort of market. Don't know what they're going to do now, but I'd like to see them making their own and really push these handhelds on to a point where we can get, if you can give me a solid 1080 60 on a handheld device locally, I'd be quite happy with that just now.
Yeah. So this comes pretty close to that. Not 1080, but 800p. But I was just saying with the dock, something that again, Steam is working on their official dock, and I think if that can act like the Nintendo, so something about the Nintendo Switch is the seamless transition of just docking your Switch, taking it out, docking it, easy access. So imagine if they can create a dock that gives you like output to 4K instantly by you docking it onto your TV, and then when you're done, take it. I hope it's just not like a dock that I can go pick out the market. I hope they work on like taking advantage of this, like a Switch, like easy transition from dock to TV, projection of 4K. I mean, if they can do that with that dock, then this literally is the console when you dock it.
The advantage that the Switch has got, though, is their games aren't as demanding as PC games. That's the worry for me. How is that hardware going to handle streaming to a 1440p monitor? Well, not streaming, but to a 1440p monitor. It's going to be, those 3 frames per second you get in Cyberpunk ain't going to look very good.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. Yeah, that's going to be a sight. So they said this summer the dock will be released. So we'll see. I'll definitely put that to the test. But yeah. But overall, man, it's a great middle device for local and cloud gaming. And video should be coming soon with just cloud gaming on this. But I'm really enjoying it, man. This is so cloud got me excited to game again. But then again, they just stopped getting the AAA games. This right now is really making me excited. Having the option of cloud and local, it's great. It's great. Anywho, that is the time. Just want to give members a chance to plug in, let them know what they do and where you can find them. So we'll start with Duncan, sir. How are you? And let the people know what you do and where can people find you.
You can find us over at Stadia with games on YouTube. We have some interesting videos coming out in the next wee while.
Cool. Cool. Good to have you on here, Duncan.
Sorry,
And
I just want to apologize for being late. I got my times mixed up because of the clock's going back.
you're good, man. You're good. You were able to come. Not like some people. How about you, Space? Shots fired. And,
You can
yeah.
find me on Twitter and on Twitch now, where I do all my streams. Every Thursday night, I got a Cloud Nation TV podcast. Other than that, I do a gameplay stream here and there that I announce on Twitter. So just follow me for the notification, as I don't have a set schedule at the moment.
Cool.
Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, absolutely. So it's great discussion piece, man, when you're around. So good to have you in here, for sure. Monkey, how about you, sir? What and then to plug, let the people know.
Just keep your eye on our social channels, giveaways, and everything cloud gaming related. It's been a great show tonight. Twisted Duncan's pants quite severely, which was fun.
It's fun stuff. And 07, man, anything you want to plug? Do you make content?
I don't make content, but my son does. He's a little streamer, a little YouTuber named E10. The letter E10. He's a big. I don't know. This is a pretty complicated game for my son. He's 11. He plays a game called Star Citizen. So that's why he plays a Windows PC. You check out his channel E10, and you probably figure out his name by that. My Twitter account is Alfred Asasi. And I'm really active on Twitter with you guys, and I plug all you guys' shows, man. I watch you as much as I can. Again, like I said, I'm a big cloud game fanatic, so thank you guys for having me on, and appreciate it. Thank you, Ace. It's all great talking to you guys. Hell Monkey, keep using that Linux, man. You too, Duncan. Dual boot that system. Okay, guys. Hey, Ace, you got to post some videos on that Steam Deck pretty soon, man. We want to see that.
It's coming. It's coming.
I tell Chief I said hello. I hadn't seen him in a long time, or seen him on the stream. No, he's probably behind the scenes, but yes. Thank you guys. Thank you, Ace, and thank you guys.
Hi, 07, man. Good to have you on again. But yeah, guys. So just want to plug. We do have a dedicated Steam Deck channel. I don't know if it's linked anywhere, but it's called Steam Deck Gaming. So definitely check that out if you guys do want some more. I covered the xCloud on there and how to get it on there. But I am going to be focused in a lot on cloud gaming with it. So Google Stadia on there, Shadow PC, I got that working on there. And I'm just going to do like a state of video currently for it in cloud gaming, so you guys can get a look at all the service, see which one works, which one doesn't, just to give you guys an idea of what it looks like. So stay tuned. A lot of that is coming. But appreciate you guys. This was fun. We'll catch you guys next week. Till next time, peace out.